Welcome back to Bible Talk from the Green Room. We're doing Revelation in 31 days. Today we're on day number 28 of 31. We're in Revelation 21, 1 through 8. Thanks for joining us today. All right, welcome back. We're back to the notebook here. We're going to be in verses 1 through 8 today in chapter 21. And this talks about what heaven will be like. It's going to be totally new. Major outline of the book of Revelation is found in 119. This third section of that outline is those that are to take place after this, or the things that shall be thereafter. Third section has three subdivisions: the tribulation, which is chapters 4 to 19, the millennium, which is chapter 20, and all things made new are chapter 21 and 22. We're now going to look at the final subdivision, which reveals what heaven's going to look like. It's going to be totally new. We have taken a long, dark journey through the book of Revelation here. It's been mostly bad news about disease, pain, smoke, global destruction, war, death, and the lake of fire. Now we come to the good news. The word translated new does not mean recent or new in time. It means new in quality and nature. It is new in kind rather than in time. The new heaven and the new earth are possible because the first heaven and the first earth have passed away. No details are given here. How will they pass away? Go look at 2 Peter 3 verses 10 and see and find that answer. John also writes, the sea was no more. This means there will be a total change in the climatic conditions, since humidity and rainfall are determined by seas and oceans. Water will not be essential for life because there's going to be our glorified bodies we're going to be living in like Christ. Next, John sees the holy city, a new Jerusalem, coming down from heaven from God. That's in verse 2 there. This is what Isaiah predicted long ago. What does God say through Isaiah in Isaiah 65:17? Go look that one up today. All pain and suffering, lost people we knew in sin are going to be forgotten. However, we're going to know each other according to 1 Corinthians 13 and 12. New Jerusalem is prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. What's the most beautiful and expensive dress you've ever seen? There's probably going to be a bridal gown there. The New Jerusalem will have dazzling beauty beyond anything we've ever seen. John hears a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. In this new Jerusalem, God will make his dwelling place, or his tabernacle, with his children for all eternity. This is because former things have passed away, as we see in verse 4. These former things are all results of sin. Since there's no sin in heaven, those things are going to be gone forever. One sitting by the throne says, behold, I'm making all things new. The Bible begins with God's creation of the old heavens and earth, and it ends with his creating a new heaven and earth. God then tells John, write it down, for these words are trustworthy and true in verse 5. This means what we're reading is absolute certainty. God then said to John, it is done in verse 6. He has finished the plan of salvation. God also says, I'm the Alpha and Omega. This repeats what Jesus said to John. Alpha and Omega are the first and last in the Greek alphabet. Therefore, God is the beginning and the end of everything. Most of us don't think much about water, but it was a major concern in John's day. This is a promise of abundant satisfaction because God will meet and exceed every need without payment, meaning that it's going to be free. God continues, the one who conquers will have this heritage, and I will be his God, and he will be my son in verse 7. The one who conquers and overcomes is everyone who has been born of God. God also tells John he will not be with him in heaven. Who will not be with him in heaven? God also tells John who will not be with him in heaven. Sorry. As mentioned, when you see a list in the Bible, always pay attention to what comes first. What two groups are first in the list of those that will have their place in the lake of fire? Look in verse 8 for that answer. The first group includes those who know about Christ but are afraid to take a stand for him. They may come to church often and they may hear sermons. However, they fear persecution. They're not brave enough to take a stand for Christ. The second group includes those who hear the gospel but do not demonstrate saving faith. These two groups are listed because God considers them the worst of all sinners. Next on the list are the detestable or abominable, which refers to those who are vile and disgusting to God. Then come murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, which translates the word from which we get our word pharmacist. These refer to those who use spell-giving potions and practice fortune-telling through the signs and omens. The list includes idolaters and all liars. Their fate is the lake of fire, which is the second death, as we see in verse 8. None of these will be in heaven because it is totally new. We will finish up tomorrow this part of the chapter here in day number 29. We'll be in Revelation 21, and we'll be in verses 9 through 27. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.